That video makes a great thing for your house, for guests, and particularly for a gift for somebody who now lives someplace else. Then send it to them. Then all the people, the local people back there. And Dan has them right over here, I think. How much are they, Dan? How much? $10. I couldn't believe that. My ears. $10. That is a heck of a good deal for this video.
How much is that in gold dust?
In gold dust. Get the folks back at that back table, they'll know. One second, we're dealing with high technology here. Oh, yeah, funny. So this is a slideshow put together by Main Street, Cottage Grove, Oregon, that Jared Sidman represents. And Jared's actually a big reason why we're having these history pubs. It might have been originally the idea of the Axe and Fiddle, because science pubs have been so popular, and history pubs in Eugene have been really popular. And so, you know, the historical groups are just really excited to be part of this one. Jared, you want to talk about Main Street here for a second?
So for those of you that don't know me, I'm the coordinator for the Main Street Cottage Grove program. And one of the most exciting things we've had happen this year is we just got awarded a $200,000 grant for a local historical preservation project by one of Cottage Grove's own, Len Blackstone. So we're going to do a quick little presentation to honor Len. And coming up on stage, this lovely lady is the president of the Main Street Cottage Grove board. This is Ruth Manoz. And we're going to call up Len. Len, if you would be so gracious to accept this $200,000 from the State Historic Preservation Office and Main Street Cottage Grove. Congratulations. Now, if you see on the screen behind us, this is all about history, right? That was 1911 or pre-1911, just this same block, the opposite corner right over here on Main Street. And Len and his team, within the next year and a half, are going to have it looking, you know, as close as they can to that. So this $200,000 will go a lot for the over $1 million in his project, and he's going to give you a quick word right now.
You think they would accept us at the drive-up? Yeah, it's interesting that I was watching the video, and it was the Bohemia Mind Grace Parade. It was 3 years ago. I think it was during that parade that I was sitting on the curb across the street in this block. And my background is I've been a management consultant for large multi-million-dollar companies, and I was early 60s at that time. Now it's late 60s. And I've been mostly traveling. And the question was, as I thought about the town and watched the parade, the question that came to my mind was, what could I do for my hometown? And so I started thinking about that, and doing a lot of research, and I'll try to make a long story very short. But basically, I went to my wife, and we've been married about 46 years, and I said to her, we've only got just a very little bit to pay off our home, about a year left. How would you feel if we basically took our home and maxed it out, took as much cash as we could, and bought this building, what I call the biggest, ugliest building in downtown, and renovated it? I'm expecting her to either laugh me out of the room or throw something at me. And she just simply looked at me and said, okay. And I said, did you really hear me? Let me repeat that one more time. This is what the plan is. Are you okay with that? And she said, yeah, I really am. And so I'd like to first of all thank my wife, because that really is what made it happen. I wish she could be here. She's actually visiting family in Cleveland, Ohio, so she can't enjoy this. But I want to share with you that this grant, actually, as many of you know, the money comes in, it goes right back out again, right? So this will support a lot of jobs here that are working on this project. There's the project, when it's completed, will be offices for about 35 people downtown, plus office, plus a restaurant, plus retail, and then upstairs will be 6 middle-income housing. So I spent a lot of time, when I thought about how can I help Cottage Grove, my occupation, my background professionally has been I would get hired by companies to do basically an opportunity assessment for them if they wanted to identify new markets or they wanted to introduce new products. And so I treated Cottage Grove as if it was a client and actually did a deep dive. And the result of that was kind of like, this is what I could do to help Cottage Grove. And so we bought this building, and we're now doing the renovation of the project. It'll be done in May of 2020 is the goal. Right now we're currently working on 3 upstairs apartments as well as the front facade. And the 3 apartments will be finished in just a couple months. There's some cool things about this building that we discovered that just really blew me away. Things that were hidden, like over the doors, these transom old antique windows were hidden in the walls. The old metal ceilings, had all been covered up, with drop ceilings, and when we uncovered it, it was like this unbelievable wallpaper. It's just amazing the things that we've seen. Some of you have lived here for a long time on 6th Street. Danny Soulsby and Candace know about this, but it was right kind of facing where they live. There was some T111 siding that had been covering the side, and curious about what was there, we took that off and discovered that behind that was these windows that actually slide back and forth, and people were telling me they used to buy ice cream from those windows. And so we're reproducing those windows, just to do it the same way. So there's about 88 different jobs that actually will be impacted, that'll be involved in developing this project. So I wanted to let you know that at this, when you're done, at the end, we are going to open the building. And if you'd like to come down and walk in, we've got free food, free wine, and we also will open up for you to go upstairs if you'd like in a tour group to see some of the apartments. So one thing there, the apartments all have lower ceilings. Something I've never noticed, and you may not notice, but if you look at this building closely, you'll see it now. If you stand across the street and look at it, you'll see across the middle of the windows, the ceilings. There's actually in the front apartments, the ceilings are 12 feet. They've lowered them down to 7.5 or 8 feet, and the ceiling goes right through the middle of the windows. So those apartments, the ceilings will go back up to 12 feet. Upstairs, where the 3 apartments are at, used to be a grand ballroom. At one time was the largest ballroom in the community. We didn't know this. I was in the apartments numerous times, 7.5-foot ceilings, and then there was an attic above there. And it was only with my architect that we discovered that, in fact, that had been put in there during the Depression. And so those apartments now, those 3 apartments, have 16-foot ceilings with lofts inside. Very, very cool. So yeah, imagine an apartment with this kind of a ceiling. So pretty clever. Anyway, I talked too much. Please come, feel free to come after the event tonight. Just come down and stay a few minutes. That'd be great. If you want to tour the place, let me know, and we'll take folks up and they can see the work in progress upstairs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blackstone. The investment that you've made in this community is just terrific. And again, after this presentation, he's invited folks in. He's going to open up the building, serve wine and maybe snacks, and a chance to see inside the bank. There's a great article in last week's Sentinel or the Sentinel week before about it. So if you haven't read it, you can go online and look at that. And it's a really neat article in real big detail. I got one last factoid about your bank. If it weren't for the Cottage Grove Bank that used to be in that building, we might not have Opal Whiteley as we think of her today. She borrowed $500 from the Cottage Grove Bank in that building in 1918 to leave Cottage Grove. She dropped out of the U of O, and that's when she went to Los Angeles. If Opal doesn't get the $500 from the Cottage Grove Bank, who knows how history has changed. But Jared, did you have something?
So for Main Street Cottage Grove, that's one of the big things we can do, right? We can help locals get that money to stimulate this downtown. We also do smaller things. We work with the heritage partners here in Cottage Grove, the local historical societies, and we actually have a survey that'll really help us get our plan going for the next few years. What's important to